Hey guys, I want to do a Windows tier list. Now I know people have done this before, but I'm gonna be doing it as well. Now, when I went on Tier Maker, I didn't see how I wanted it to be. So what I did was I just got a Paint.net image and just I copied and pasted images of every single operating system. So here we go. So there's 1.0, 2.0, 3, 3.0, 3.11, 95, 98, 2000, Windows ME, XP 8, 10, Vista 7, 8.1, and 11. So there we go. So what do people think of? Now, I've only ever experienced Windows, because I was born in 2013. I've only experienced 8.1, 7, 10, and 11. That rhymes. I've experienced Vista a bit on my nan's laptop, but I haven't experienced fully. So I'm not going to count Vista. So let's start off with Windows 1.0. What do people think of Windows 1.0? Critics considered that the platform had future potential, so that's a good sign. What the? Oh my god! I was just on the page that I needed. There we go. Considered the platform as a future potential, which was really good. We felt that Windows 1.0 had not fulfilled expectations, which means they didn't really think it was good compared to Apple's GUI operating system. I think when they say Apple's GUI, I think they mean Macintosh or macOS. So I'm gonna say that can go in B tier because they felt that it had a future potential, which is good, but it wasn't really the best compared to Apple Macintosh. So I'm gonna put it in B tier because I think that's fair. So let's zoom it in. Where's the select box? Windows 1.0, and let's change that. And now let's get our select box, and let's move it to good old B tier. Let's move it to Windows. Let's move it to B tier. Okay, now Windows 2.0. Now I heard that Windows 2.0 was really good. So what do people think of Windows 2.0? Now it's just coming up with random things. I had a good thing there where I had there. To run Windows 2.0, you have to boot to DOS and then type in the command to launch Windows, as you did for any other program. My mouse just disconnected. I'll just keep going. No. Or any other program, it was slow, clunky, and had a ton of bugs, plus there were very few programs that had been developed to run in Windows environment at the time. I'm going to put that in a C, because it seems like this is all just not the best. To run Windows 2.0, you have to boot to DOS and then type in the command to launch Windows. Yeah, same with Windows 1.0. As you did for any other program. It was slow, clunky, and had a ton of bugs. So I think when they mean slow, clunky, and a ton of bugs, I think that's supposed to be in. Let's put that in C tier, right under the first one. Now the first one, loads of people are going to be freaking out. They're going to think it's a really good operating system, but then as it goes, and people just start to go away from it. Okay, so Windows 2.0 right there. Windows 3.0. Windows 3.0. Consider its GUI to be a challenger to those Apple Macintosh and Unix. What? Unix? Okay, I'm searching that up. What? Unix. The module OS made of a number. So I think it was Unix is a family of multitasking. Okay, I don't need to know that. So now it's actually comparing. So now actually it was a challenger. So Macintosh had a challenge against them, but normally when it was Windows 1.0, Macintosh didn't really have a challenge because they were the best operating system, and they still were. But it was a challenge now. They had to be competitive. They had to be better. That's what I like. That's why now that's where I'm gonna put Windows 3.0. Might be a bit tedious, but I'm gonna put it in B tier. Now, the reason why I said it might be a bit tedious is because I think loads of people would say put it in A. It was a really good operating system. Now, even though I haven't experienced it, I kind of agree if you think it was a really good operating system from what I've read just then on Google. But I'm just not getting the feeling of it being a really good operating system. I'm just not getting the feeling. So instead, I'm just gonna forget about it because I think it compares Challenger. Actually, A tier. Because Windows 1.0, as I read, it didn't compare to Macintosh, but now it was actually a Challenger. So I'm gonna put it in A tier. So now let's go to the next one. Windows 3.11. Windows 3.1 was a tiny upgrade to Windows 3.1. At least depending on the version you had the standard Windows 3.1 release, and Windows 3.11 did a little more than fix some bugs. And instability, and it added the ability to share computers' resources with others on the same network. So I think Windows 3.1 was actually an upgrade from Windows 3.1, just fixing some bugs. So I'm going to depend it on Windows 3.1 and Windows 3.11. How is it what? Never mind. It was more stable and multimedia friendly. So it was more stable. Okay, it was more stable. So if it was more stable, I'll put it in A tier because compared to Windows 3.0, which people said was really good, Windows 3.1 was like a really good upgrade, and then Windows 3.11 was like a massive upgrade. Like you could it made it more free to go on a computer. So I'm gonna put it in A tier, like it's of a generation 3.1. Now Windows 95, even though it had bugs, I think loads of people would agree if I put it in S tier. It was the start of the NT kernel, which even in Windows 10 today, actually wait there, I want to do something cooler. But still, in Windows 10 today, we still use. So I think that I'm not gonna put it in S tier. Even why did I just say I'm gonna put it in S tier, even though I'm not going to? What the? My mind is going off. My mind is blowing. No, 35 years ago. Okay, I thought I was gonna come up with like a joke. Windows 35, Windows 95. What people like Windows 95? What do people like Windows 95? Windows 95 was shockingly good for its time. It was well more stable and had a better user interface than Windows 3.1, and it was generally awesome. Now, you know what awesome stands for? You know what that letter is right there, an A. I know this is my third time, but let's put Windows 95 in A because people thought it was awesome. And you know what the A tier stands for? Awesome. So I'm putting 95 in there. If you disagree with me, I forgot to say this before, but if you disagree with me, you have the choice to put it in the comments. If the comments get enabled, I don't know how to do that because I don't use OBS. I use a different one called Vidyard. Okay, now Windows 98. Now I've heard that Windows 98 had like lots of bugs. So let's here what people think on the nice Google about Windows 98. Windows 98 received a positive reputation for the web integrated interface and ease of use, as well as the addressing of issues present in Windows 95. Although some pointed out it was not significantly more stable. So we're more stable. So I think people would have stuck with 95. So what I'm going to do instead is, I'm going to put in B tier, because putting it in B tier, I think that's the best place for 98. Because it wasn't as stable, and I heard I had lots of bugs. Now I don't know why I'm not including Windows 98 Second Edition. I'm just going from the flagships, or the actual originals. So now Windows 2000. Now Windows 2000. I don't really understand Windows 2000. So I think Windows 2000 was supposed to be like a business model. So for any size of business, Windows 2000 has the right stuff both as a workstation and as a server. It's stable, easy to install, and packs in enough new features to make it a must-have upgrade from Windows NT 4.0. It's even easier to run on most laptops. Okay, so that's going to go in A tier, because Windows 2000, if you had the home, Windows back then wasn't aiming for the home PC. It was more aiming on Office PC. That's why Windows 2000 really went out on this Office thing. Now Windows ME. Now, as I was talking about just then, with it being the home PC stuff, that's what Windows ME was built for. But Windows ME had a lot of bugs. I can even just search on Windows ME. Watch what people say. One of the worst versions of Windows ever released, because it was it was unstable, and it was and it wasn't the best. It was all janky, it was glitchy. So I think I was about to put that in A tier or B tier. What the hell? I think this has to sit in F tier. Okay, now Windows XP. Now I don't even have to search this up. Windows XP. It's going straight into F tier. Because Windows XP is legendary. Now I've never experienced Windows XP because I wasn't born when Windows XP was still on support. Actually, I was, but I was too little to know what Windows XP was. Okay, now I'm just gonna put in ST, but I'm gonna see what people do think. Increased performance and the stability. And it was legendary. Because XP is still usable in 2023. No! Okay, so what people on Windows XP? Windows Vista. Now loads of people say that Windows Vista was the worst. I actually kind of like Vista. Now people might be like, what the hell? But, I think you agree after I have this little saying. Windows XP was not Windows XP. Windows Vista was basically the exact same as Windows 7. Same start sound, same design, same UI, same logo, same interface, the status bar, the gadgets and all of that. So I think I'm gonna put it in D tier. Because of how buggy it was at launch, and because of all the Windows Longhorn stuff, I think I'll leave Windows Vista in D tier. I think it's the perfect place for it. because although it wasn't loved and it was buggy at launch, well, after the service packs, it was completely fine. It's not as bad as Windows ME, but it is a bit worse than Windows 2.0. So I'm gonna put Windows Vista maybe into C tier with Windows 2.0. Okay, because I do actually really like Windows Vista from what I've heard. Windows 7, this is the first operating system I've ever experienced. And after being on Windows 7, I love it. S tier. People say that it's even better than XP. I wish I had a tier above XP, but we don't. I mean above S, but we don't. So we're going to be putting Windows 7 S tier. Now Windows 8. People refer Windows 8 even worse than ME because they removed the start button. So I'm gonna take it off because what Microsoft did with Windows 8 is ridiculous. They removed. You know what they removed? Let me just move it. No, I don't want to change the size of it. Okay, it's going in F tier. Let me tell you why. Now, the reason why is because Microsoft removed their one thing ever that was supposed to come with the NT model, which was supposed to be the best. Let me just press a key on my keyboard. That's what they removed. I mean, excuse me, they removed the start button. Even worse, they removed the start menu. They made a start screen. The only way I can get as close as I can to Windows 8.1 is by going in the worst thing that Windows 10 ever brought to it. Microsoft ever brought to Windows 10. Where is it? No, it's Hasbro. Oh yeah, I've heard that. Let me just enable this to free up some space on my 64GB PC that I've got no more storage left in. Well, I'll probably say remove the start menu. And that's just ridiculous. Now, Windows 8.1, I'm going to put it in C. Again, I'm going to put it in C. Because Windows 8.1 brought the start button back. And because they brought the start button back, it could actually make Windows 8.1 look like Windows 7. Now, if you still got Windows 8.1, which is not recommended because it's out of support now, I would say that Windows 8.1, if you still have it, make sure you get legacy updates so you can get all of the latest updates. Make sure you get an antivirus. But you can actually there's loads of videos out there which actually make it look like Windows 7, and it removes the start screen. It doesn't give you the start screen anymore. It gives you the best start menu. That thing down the bottom left corner. Yes, it gives you that. Okay, now Windows 10. I'm on Windows 10. Now some people might disagree. Again, put in the comments if you think that you disagree. But S tier. Wait there, I gotta go back. Windows 10, I've gotta say, is the best operating system I think I've ever experienced, okay? I think it is. Windows 10 is the one I've cherished the most. It's the one I've used the most. I mean, look at me. I'm using my PC. It's running Windows 10 right now, my PC. So, I'm putting an S here. I really like Windows 10. Although Windows 10 wasn't the best at launch because it had so much security things. It was like Windows 10 was a spy you had to get like this application called Shut 10. With that, but it's not really that bad anymore. It's just kind of like this these days. Whenever you open like a Microsoft application, it's the same with Windows 11. So if I click on my one icon in my taskbar, Resident 2 over here, if I type in reg edit, now the screen will go blank, but you'll hear the sound, and the sound like that sound. That means that it's thingying. It needs to do user account control. You'll hear it. What? Reg edit. Oh, I know what I have to do. Run as administrator. Now you'll hear it. Did you hear that? I'll just click on now because I'm not going on Reg edit. Right, if I search up CMD, right click, run as administrator, then it will go with that. So I'm just gonna go off it and it'll do it. And it'll do user account control. So now let's do Windows 11. Okay, Windows 11. I've got two laptops. I've got this one I'm using over here, and I've got a HP one. I did the HP one in the LibreOffice. If you haven't watched it yet, but it's running Windows 11, and it's super buggy on it. Even though it came with Windows 11, it's super glitchy with it. Unless you've got like the top processor, like if you've got like at least an i3 or an i5 with like 8 gigabytes of RAM, go for that. But mine's got a Pentium Silver. And the reason why I'm running Windows 10 on this one is because it didn't come with Windows 10, but Windows 10. This laptop I'm running, and it's got a Celeron, and Windows 11 is even worse on it. So I installed Windows 10. So yeah, there's the tier list. I hope you guys enjoy watching. Hope I really love it if you could subscribe to my channel. Like if you could subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Wait there. So no. If I go to where's my account? Right. View my channel. But if we could, now my new target. 4 weeks ago, I was asking if we could have thingy. If we could have 20 subscribers. Now I'm aiming for 25, maybe even 30. Thank you for the support the last couple of weeks. It's really upped on my YouTube. Now you don't have to subscribe. I'm not saying that you have to, because of course you don't. I'm forcing you. I really appreciate it if you would subscribe. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.